Okay guys, welcome back to another episode of our game dev tutorials, or series rather. Today we are going to be going back to our Space Hopper game just because we finished our Halloween theme game. We finished the memory game, and now I think for the next two episodes we'll jump back into our Space Hopper and do some things on there, try and finish our leaderboard. And then after that, let me show you what we're going to be working on next. Come up with another game series that we will start probably on Friday. And you should probably know this game. It is a very fun game, a game that many people used to play and probably still play. But the game is called Tetris. We're going to be working on Tetris. The objective of the game is to lower blocks or shapes that look like these and lower them into the bottom of the screen and try and stack them on top of each other in a way that they fit into each other. Once you've filled up the full line, like so if for example say this was the screen, once you had filled up a full line like this, all the way from edge to edge, that line then disappears and that everything above that falls down one line. And obviously the object of the game is to stop the screen from filling up all the way to the top, because if you do that then the game ends, and obviously that's not what you want. So that is the game that we're going to be working on next. We finished our Halloween game. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch that. It's pretty cool. We made a pretty sick memory game. But today we are going to not do that. Today we are going to jump back into our Space Hopper game here. And let's just see where we left off. We want to try and finish off, or at least try and continue working on our our leaderboard. So this is where we left off. I don't think we've done much to our actual gameplay yet. So the objective of this game is to jump on as many platforms as you can, and at random intervals or at random landing like that, the actual platforms actually destroy themselves. So whenever you fall off of the screen, you get prompted with this input field here, and you have to enter your name. So let me enter my name. So when I enter my name and press save, you can see in the console it gives me my score. So now in today's episode we are going to probably not deal with this yet. What I want to do is, if we go into our leaderboard scene, here we have, at the moment we just have some fake leaderboard entries. So we have 8 entries. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste these, and then for these I'm going to do random numbers. So let's do that one, 500. This one will have 300. This one will have 100. This one we can have 2000. Just random numbers. This one we can have 120. And then this one we will have 60. So what we want to do in today's episode is we want to go and sort these out. So if we save that and play the game again, you should see now that we have 12 entries. Okay, so I think our leaderboard is currently set up to only consist of 13. So I'm going to put exactly 13 entries into it, just like that for now, so we can see it work. So what we want to do today is we want to go into our leaderboard and sort these out, because at the moment you can see these are not sorted according to the score. As you can see, 100 is at the top in first place, and 2000 here is in 11th place, which is not what we want. What we want is the 2000 to be all the way at the top, and then the lowest score, which is I think this one, 60, should be at the bottom. This one is because it is the last entry that we've added into the game. So let's go and do this quickly. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and sort these out. So what we could do is we could do this right here, I think. Should we do that right here? Do we want to do this right here, or should we do it somewhere else? Let me check quickly. Give me a second. Pop this over here. And then we are going to where's this one? So we are going to do this. Let's go out of gameplay mode so that's faster in the future. So to do this, we are going to sort out our list before we go ahead and create some entry transforms. So before we add any of our high scores into our container, we're going to go and sort them out so that when we do add them, it adds them in the correct order. So for this, it should be fairly simple. We are just going to use a couple of for loops, and that is going to go through. It's going to go and see what the score is at the first index, and then it's going to go through all the rest of the indexes and see if any of those are greater than the first index, and if it is, it's going to swap them, and so on. So what we're going to do is we are going to go and say for int I is equal to 0, where I is less than our high score. Let's see, what do we call it? High score. I think it is our high score entries. So let's try high score entries dot count. I haven't done this in a long time, since the last episode, so kind of confusing. I forgot what things are, so we'll try this. If not, we'll just swap it around and see if that works. So high score dot count, and then we want to go and say I plus plus, and then inside of this for loop we want to go ahead and add another one. So the first for loop is going to pick out that first index at index 0, and then the second one is going to pick out the next one. So all we want to go and say is int, we'll call this int j, because j comes after I, which makes sense. So int j is equal to I, what is it called? I plus 1. And then j is going to be less than the amount, so it's going to be again high score entries dot count. And then what we're going to go and say is j plus plus, so adds 1 to j. Okay, where is that bracket gone? Let's try that again. Cool. So now in this for loop we want to go and compare the two scores. So to do that, we need to insert a for loops, not a for loop, a if statement. So here we can say if the current score at the first index, so here we can say high score entries at index. Why is it not coming right? Sorry, we need to put I dot score is less than, or rather is greater than, what is it going to be? It's going to be high score entries at j, like that. No semicolon. Okay, so now why is this not working? Because we need to compare the two scores. So here we forgot to put score, so we can add that in there and then put that bracket back. Okay, so now if that is true, we want to go and say we want to go and swap them around. So here because we need to swap them, we need to assign the score of one of them to the other. So if we do that, we're going to lose the score that gets reassigned. So to do this, we need to create a temporary score. So here we can say what is it going to score? What is it going to call? It's going to be called high score entries. High score entry temp entry, and that is going to be equal to our high score entry at index of I. No, that's not right. That needs to be that. I don't know why that happened. So high score entries at index of I. And then what we want to do is we want to go and assign we want to go and swap the scores around so that we can start sorting them in the correct order. So here we can say high score entries at index of I is now going to be equal to the high score entries at index at J, and then we can go and say the high score entry at index of J is now going to be equal to the high score index that was at our our temporary entry, so that we don't need to do, all we have to say is temporary entry. So let's go and save that, and then we can jump back into the game, and hopefully we can see our list being sorted out. Okay, so it is sorting it out, but clearly we have got it the wrong way around because it's sorting it out from smallest to highest. So that is a simple fix. We just forgot to, all we have to do here is, I think, just swap that. So here we can say, if that is less than that, then go ahead and swap them. So let's go and see if that works. So 2000, 600, 600, 600, 5, 5, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, and 6. Okay, so there you go. There's our high score list now, or our leaderboard list is now sorted into the correct order. So I'm going to go back into here and I'm going to put a new entry in. I'm just going to modify one of these, and I'm going to say 6, or actually let's say 955. We'll save that, and let's go and load this again and see if it pops up. It should pop up in second place. So if we play that, there we go. Now we have a second place entry at 955, so that's good. That's what we want. Okay, so that's pretty much our leaderboard finished, other than we have to now link that into our game scene so that when we do lose or go off the screen and the game ends, we actually can add our high score into the game. So let's go and die, and then here what we want to do is we want to put in our name, and then as soon as we press save, we, instead of having this console log here, we want to actually display the leaderboard with your name in it, as long as you have got a score that is greater than the first 13. If not, then we will just go ahead and go ahead and place you straight back into the game and ask you if you want to play the game again. So I think the best way to do this is, for now, I'm just going to simply not display the leaderboard, but I'm going to load the leaderboard scene, and then that'll be fine for now, because what that is going to do is going to show you where on the leaderboard you are. But in the future we will change it up, and we'll actually put a leaderboard in the game scene so that we can hopefully highlight your entry if you have made it into the leaderboard. If not, we just not show the leaderboard. So let's go do that quickly. Where do we want to do that? So when we press save, input manager, this is where we press save. Okay, so here we want to go and let's go and say using Unity engine dot scene management, like that. So that's going to allow us to swap between our scenes. So when we save the name into the JSON file, or later on we'll do that, we want to go and say scene manager dot load scene, and then here I think we can say global dot leaderboard scene. Did we make a global? Let's go into our global class and see. Okay, so no, we didn't. So let's make some scene names here. So here we want to say leaderboard scene, and this is going to be called leaderboard. So that needs to be exactly the same as our leaderboard scene name, and then this needs to be our game scene. What other scenes do we have? We have a test scene. That's just for testing. So this needs to be game scene. I think it's a capital S. Yes, it is. Okay, so those are fine. We should be able to access those now. So we're input manager. So here we can say global dot leaderboard scene. So that should now load up our leaderboard scene as soon as we press save. So let's go and play the game quick and see what happens. So now this is not going to our score that we actually get in the game now. As soon as we type in our name and press the same save button, our score will not appear in our leaderboard, so just bear in mind that. It's just going to load up our leaderboard scene. So let's go and die. I'm just gonna put my name in here for fun, and then we can go and press save. Okay, so leaderboard could not be because not added to built in. Okay, so let's go and open up our build settings. Yeah, so leaderboard is not in here, so let's go and open up our leaderboard scene here, and then we can go ahead and add this into here by pressing add open scenes. Cool. Now we have to go and do that all over again, so let's go and play the game. So let's go play a few, get a couple of points, and then we also need to fix that climbing on top of, or climbing up the edge of a platform. We don't really want that. So let's see, now that we press save, this should pop up our leaderboard, which it does, so that's fine. So now when the next thing in the next episode we will do is we will go ahead and start adding in our actual score from the game into our leaderboard. So we'll get rid of all of these dummy entries in our leaderboard at the moment, and we'll go and start populating the leaderboard with our proper points that we get from playing the game. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this episode again. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, look out for our next game. Tetris is coming soon on Friday, in not a couple of days, at the end of the week. And another episode of this where we'll go ahead and start adding our actual score and our name into our leaderboard instead of having our dummy entries. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. So thank you so much for watching the game, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.